see people that are still going in. And I'm going to count on you, Neilu. Do we have everyone off already from the waiting room?
We are admitting everyone. We have everyone right here on the main room.
So what's the count right now? I see 43 so far.
43, yes.
Awesome. All right. And as they come in, they come in. And this is going to be available on the website. So if anyone needs to get some preliminary information, they can go to the website. And we'll be sharing these websites as we go through it. And we are actually on Facebook Live as well, which is pretty awkward here because I've got all my family and friends over there on that side. And then I also have my business family and friends here on this side. So it's going to be an interesting interaction. I'm excited about everyone that's joining us today. Thank you very much. So I do have my screen open, and I know I have it in non-presentation mode, but that would be fine for now. So a couple of the first items that we need to make sure we're tackling is working agreements. And I know, Regina, you believe a lot in working agreements. Yes. So, and all the coaches out there, this is one of our foundational things that we do when we host any kind of event, especially when it comes to making sure that the foundations are taken care of. So first thing is, of course, we want your name, especially if you're getting your PDUs. If you're going to get your PDUs, you need to make sure that you have your name there, because this will be looked at as we audit to make sure that you've done your hours, right? You've participated. So I believe the PMI, South Florida PMI, is offering 3 PDUs. That's pretty exciting for an event like this. Yes, we want you to turn on your camera. We actually want to see everyone's face. That's pretty, I know it's kind of awkward. And maybe some of you guys are just like me. I haven't shaved in a long time. This is my first time shaving. So hopefully you guys can join us. Next thing, yes, muting your line is very important. The worst thing you can do in an event like this is have noise in the background, right?
So that's, as you know, the facilitators, as they're speaking, they will turn on their camera so you guys can fully see them. At that point, when the facilitators are speaking, you could opt to turn off your camera. But when we're having interactions, if you have a question, there's the chat line all the way on the right-hand side. We want to make sure that you all click on the chat line. If you have any questions, we will have our admins taking a look and monitoring the chat line. So they could say, hey, so-and-so has this question, and let the speaker know to address the question at that point. Or at the end of the speaking engagement, we will take a look at some of the questions that you have as well. All right, so we have our admins on the line that are there to help you out. If you have any technical questions, also please put them on the chat line, and they'll be able to assist you and answer your question as soon as possible.
Okay, awesome. I'm seeing there's still people on the waiting list, on the waiting room. So there's a lot of people still logging in, and they will be logging in all the way up to 9 o'clock, because that's really the kickoff of this whole event. So let's go again, understanding the tools so that we'll make sure we're familiar. We talked about muting your lines. Facilitator, of course, is going to turn on their camera. Thank you, Regina. Make sure you're using the chat line. Awesome. Now, another thing that we're going to have in the chat line, you're going to be able to see under admin. So if you see anyone that has the admin name to it, they're going to be able to assist you with any technical problems that you have or any issues that you have trying to get to another room. Okay, so they're really going to be your key support group. We also have people here from the PMI. This is great. So the PMI is also there to assist you, and they're going to have the PMI in front of their name. So if you're looking for someone to talk to related to PDUs, related to supporting you, and all the great things they're doing, you're going to have that as well. Okay. And then, of course, you have the coaches. So you'll see the coach's name, coach plus their name. They're there to assist you in any questions that you have about people, process, and technology. So let's keep going. Again, the foundational. Guys, one of the most important things that you need to make sure you're seeing is your participants icon at the bottom. Okay, that participant icon on the bottom is really going to help you, because that's the way you're going to be able to communicate, and we're going to ask something from you. And we're going to challenge you later on. we're going to ask you to actually do some activities with your participant name. One activity might be, you're going to love this one, Regina,
Okay.
your superhero, right? So, hey, what superhero do you admire? And we might actually change your name to be a superhero. But hold on for that one, because we'll do that after the actual keynote speaker, okay? So again, we're gonna work with the participants. We're gonna ask you to change your name. And this is the simple steps that you do to change your name. You hit participant, and you can actually come up here when you'll find yourself on the top, and all you have to do is go to more, and then you would be able to change the name of yourself. You see where it says rename? Then you would rename it, and that's how simple it is to change your name. Okay, be someone else. How about that? All right, so those are very simple instructions, and you might have a different application, whether you're using your phone. Those are things that we are going to help you with also, and we'll let the admins help you through that. Again, thank you very much. Hope you received that small tidbit. Anything else related to the tool that we need to know? This is how we change it. Again, we would put a number in front of it, and then moving forward, and then boom, we've changed our name. Great. And you see Neilu here, one of our admins at Transformation Experts. She changed her name to 1. And the reason why she used 1, 2, and 3 is because when we start doing breakout sessions, that's really going to be how we're going to get to our rooms. We're going to have the ability to say, I want to go to room 1. All you have to do is change your name and add 1 in front of it, and you immediately, the admins behind the scenes doing all the real hard work, not us, we're just having fun here. They're going to be able to move you into those rooms. So that was an overhead or overview of how to use the tool in what we need here for this event, okay? The chat line is going to be essential. What you're communicating there and how you guys are collaborating. You've got a lot of help here. It's not just the speakers, okay? You've got a lot of people behind the scenes that are going to be able to assist you and talk to you throughout this whole journey, okay? So we are at 8:55, so we've got like 5 minutes left. As people keep getting in, I need to make sure that they're aware of where this information is at. So what we've done for you is at our TE website, if you go to the website teculture.com events, and let's make sure we put that in the chat channel, admins, please.
Okay.
All that information is kept here in the downloaded. So it's just a file, and you can read over the full presentation of what we're doing today and some of the agendas. We're still updating some of the meeting times, and we'll give you the most updated information as we go through our event, but at least you have one place to go. Again, teculture.com/events. Okay, so we've got about 4 minutes left, and we want to make sure, again, you have your breakfast, you feel up to par, because we're going to really have a great event. Any specific questions that we're seeing in the chat line right now that we're monitoring that we want to answer? Can any admin or any of the coaches let me know if there's anything there that we need to address?
Yes. We have up to 41 people on the bridge right now.
I see 81. I see 81 participants.
Still have people in the waiting room. We're admitting you to the main bridge. So if you wait for 5 seconds, please bear with us a little bit.
Not a problem. Do we have any questions in the chat?
Yeah, Rick, somebody asked in the chat about if they're looking for a position, can they network?
I love it. Absolutely. This is an open forum, guys. When it comes to what we've done from the South Florida PMI to the South Florida Agile Association, it's all about us working together. So absolutely. Now, what we should do, if you're interested in a job, what we should do is maybe create a separate room, or at least an area where we can actually maybe post the job openings that you want. Because what we don't want to do, and this we have to be careful, is that Zoom has a limitation like everything else. And if we're blasting communications for everyone, it might be an overload. So I would please caution you on blasting information that not everyone really needs to hear. Okay, because then people will avoid the chat line. but we want to capture that information. So what we can do for that is go to the admin, state what position or what opening you're looking for, and we're going to go ahead and share that. We're going to list it out for you. I'm going to give everybody the opportunity to get you guys there a job. Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, Art.
We have a lot of people from the PMI right now, like Gus, for example.
Of the PMI,
Yeah.
Gus, I can't wait to kick you off. Gus, remember, as soon as I kick off at 9, I'm going to be passing on the baton to you. Great to have you, Gus.
Make sure you pay his fees, Gus.
What was that?
Make sure Gus paid his fees. This is Larry Jackson from Southern Desert.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So any other questions specifically to the tool? I want to make sure the tool is at least understood. This was your time to understand the tool. And then we're going to go ahead and kick off the conference in a few seconds. You know, it's funny. We talk about technology, and here I am. I have my little watch here to actually tell me when we should start. So even though we're all technology driven, hey, this manual stuff still works.
This is from the 1950s.
Hey, it works.
1950 stopwatch.
It works.
Well, Rick, we hit the 100 participants. We're happy to have you.
We're moving. And it's almost 9 o'clock, ready and excited to get going. And we're gonna go ahead and start putting the slides up so that we can have a conversation. Again, for people that missed the early, quick preview of the tools, we just had a very simple tool, and you can actually go to the website and grab that information if you need to. All right, so the count keeps growing. Keeps growing. So it's 9 a.m. sharp. 9 a.m. sharp. I'm going to be putting up the screen. I'm going to give it 2 minutes. Yes, I know, coaches. We always talk about starting on time and ending on time.
Yes, you should be hearing something.
I should be hearing something. Okay, but there are
it's outputting all kinds of shit.
Okay, before I heard something.
I know. I don't know what's going on.
Let's mute the lines.
Realtek, who the fuck is that? Same as System Shop with that.
Guys,
It doesn't matter. It did the same thing. So I would try headphones and try plugging them in.
Okay. Relax, babe. Okay? Huh?
Okay, guys, there's one thing that we need to do, and we have to remember one of our ground rules. If we're not muting our lines, we're going to have a very difficult time. I need everyone to commit to doing this. I'm still hearing some background, so please, VAs, make sure you're on top of that. Let me give you a threat. Does that sound like a threatening thing?
I don't know.
Let me give you a threat. If for some reason you don't mute your lines, our admin will mute your lines. Then you won't be able to unmute your lines. So please take the preemptive approach of muting your lines so that we can have a great event. So we're all the way up to 123, 124. The clock keeps ticking, and we need to get going with this. All right, so as the other group comes in, we're going to go ahead and open up the main slide. This is our main slide. And I don't have the full view. I'm hoping that everyone's still able to see this view. And the message is not coming up on my screen, right? Or is it? Okay, awesome. All right, so again, welcome. 901, Survive and Thrive Remote Conference. So excited. We could not sleep. This is an event that's been simmering for a while, and we finally got it going. I think one of the most difficult things as coaches was really coming up with the title. I think it took us several days to come up with what title would reflect what we're doing today. So one of the big things that we're dealing with is this whole crisis right now, and it's very daunting on us, you know, and there's so many people going through struggles. So one of the first things that I want to do as an icebreaker is really, can we think about all the nice things we would want to say for people that are going through this tough time, whether it's an employment, whether it's facing an illness, whether it's facing even things even worse than that. You know, what would you like to say to them? So what I want you to do right now is I want you to go to the chat line, and I want you to write down what message, if you had the world right now and you had a message that you wanted to say to them, what would that be? What would that be? And I'm monitoring the chat line right now just to hear that out. So I'm going to take 1 minute just to see you guys, let that information flow. What's coming out, Regina?
So we've got this too will pass, stay strong, patience, hang in there, be kind and patient. Wow, we're getting a lot of quick ones here. There's stay busy and active, nothing lasts forever, meditate, I like that one. We will get through this together. We will come out better and stronger on the other side. Enjoy time with your family, that's a great one. We've got stay safe, stay strong. Everyone, stay together. We've got some, they're still coming in. Let's see. Get that household project done. Great time for household projects.
Oh my goodness.
Pray. Let's pray together. And take advantage of this time, earning your PDUs. Great
PDUs.
reminder. Okay. Work outdoors. I think it's just to be happy on a daily basis. That's good. Stay in the moment. Be kind and patient. Guys, and take time to learn. I'm adding that one there. Take time to learn. Take time to do the things that we normally are so busy and we can't do. All right, those are some good ones. Thank you, guys.
So keep entering them in there, please, so that we can have that and we can share that on our website. Again, making sure that we are recognized for giving back, for caring about the people out there. So to kick off the conference, again, my name is Rick Reguera. I'm not really interested in explaining all the certifications. I love what I do. I'm a coach, and this is, for me, an amazing experience to be able to give back to the community. So excited to help you guys through this journey. But I want to get the baton passed on to Gus. Gus from the PMI, talk to us. They're one of our main sponsors, and they're amazing. Part of that group for a long time. Gus, are you there, sir?
Yes, I am. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, happy to be here. Happy to see the tremendous turnout, because it just serves as confirmation that we're delivering value add to our members, despite of the times or that we are responding effectively and correctly to the needs of our membership. And that makes us very happy, because we do this for you. I also want to take 2 seconds to thank you guys at Transformation Experts, because your partnership with us has been invaluable and has really been pivotal in helping us drive this webinar program forward in the last couple of weeks and for the weeks to come. So thank you. Happy to be here. Amazed at the turnout, and let's get it kicking.
Awesome.
Great job, Gus.
Thank you, Gus.
All right. Thank you, Gus. And the next person, we've got her right next to me, Transformation Experts. Go ahead, Regina.
Hi, good morning, everybody, and welcome. I'm personally very excited to be here. I'm an enterprise coach at Transformation Experts. Our values is that we care and we want to help our community. We want to help each and every one of you. We want to help our clients, whatever issues, whatever problems they're facing, whether it's professional, whether it's personal, we're here to help. Right now, it's very pivotal for us to support our community. That's why we're sponsoring this event. It's very important that we're there providing knowledge, providing assistance. So that's part of who we are with Transformation Experts. Now, in order to give back, we are giving 2 certification tickets raffled at the end of this event. So please do not leave until you have the opportunity to participate in this raffle. As you know, we do training, we do consulting, we do transformation. And so to give back, we're giving away 2 free Agile certification courses that will be available between April and May for any of you that want to participate and join.
But they have to stay to the end, right?
Yes, yes. Awesome.
Great.
And then these are some of the upcoming courses that are coming up. We've got weekend training courses in Scrum and SAFe. And if you have any questions on these specifically, let us know. Our admins will be more than happy. But just because you don't win the raffle doesn't mean you don't have a great opportunity. We're also giving a 20% discount, and we've got the codes on this slide. Please write them down. The admins will also be putting the codes on the chat line for the participants. For the SFAA members and the South Florida PMI members, we're giving a 20% discount for all of the courses coming up in April and May. So our admins will be putting the code on the chat line. Don't forget that. We're here to serve you, and we're very happy to be able to provide these services. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you. From the South Florida Agile Association, again, we're also very tied into helping the community, and we've been doing that for a regular basis, connecting with the PMI, connecting with transformation experts. It's all one happy family. So let's keep doing activities like this. So again, so blessed to be here helping you guys out. So again, thank you for the sponsors. You've got the PMI, you got transformation experts, and you got the South Florida Agile Association. Woo! And people behind the scenes, it looks like we're actually doing all the work. No, there are people behind the scenes actually making things happen. These are a lot of those members, and there's more, but these are some that we're okay with sharing their pictures. Okay, so thank you guys for doing what you do.
Thank you.
And now, quickly for some ground rules. Again, make sure you put your name. If you're going to get your PDUs, the PMI is going to take care of that. If you see anybody with the PMI in front of their name, those are representatives from the PMI. You can ask them questions. Please be cautious. Mute your line. Camera is very nice. I'm seeing so many faces right there. It's so humbling to see you guys and the face expression. So keep that up. We will have the chat lines active all the time. And for administrative, so if you have any questions, you will see an admin and then a specific name. You have questions, go ahead and send it out to them. They'll be able to answer it. Coaches also have coaches or coach and their name. So if you have any coaching questions, they're out there for help you. But then you have your overall community, right? Everyone's there to help each other out. Okay, so keep it up. So Jay is our keynote speaker. So I'm not going to touch on Jay, but I'm going to touch on him once I present him. But he is our keynote. These are the sessions that we're running. So we also have the people session, the process session, and the technology session. These are our key speakers. We've got Regina, you got Marcelo, you got Mark, you got Heidi, you got Art, Leon, and Anderson. These guys are pivotal here in actually making coaching an essential, right? Without them leading the way, I don't know how many companies would be able to, get to the high proficiency that they've done. So excellent group of people here that are going to be able to support. We're going to dive a little deeper into them once we finish with our keynote. So excited to have them on board. So we went a quick poll question. Go ahead and throw the poll questions up, please. Just to want to make sure how it looks. So we're going to send you one. Jesus, whenever you're ready. Awesome. So go ahead and answer the poll. This is just one survey to at least get us some information of how do you feel about working remotely? I am so excited about that topic, right? Everyone keeps saying, well, it's crazy and this. And then some people say, no, we're actually achieving more than ever. We're making things happen. So this is a really good starting block. And remember, it's all about feedback. So us as coaches, one of the most important things that we use is we're looking for constant feedback so that we can pivot when we're presenting. So this is the kind of information that's essential for us. So I'm seeing some great things behind, some people are 5s, 3s.
So is 1 bad and 5 great?
Yes, 1 is bad, 5 is great. Yes, 1 is bad, 5 is great. Maybe we should have added that. Thank you very much. But I'm assuming that there's one person, I see that there's one person that put a 1 there. So keep in mind when you're speakers, presenters, there are people that are still struggling very heavily with this environment. And I can see that there's 7% of them are 1s and 2s. Okay, and then there's 19 that are on the fence, 19% that are on the fence. Thank you very much. So I like the survey at the bottom. So it does indicate that a lot of people are still interested in process and tools. So people is a little bit behind. So we might have to do some pivoting here on the rooms. Thank you very much for the initial poll. I hope that helps. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll on this side and share the results and then close it up. All right. So moving down. So I want to introduce I would say a co-worker of mine, but really somebody who I've admired. He started at World Fuel from my recollection, and he's done great things at World Fuel. But then he went into the challenge of going to a company that was not at the cultural evolution. So he addressed it and went out there as a challenge. So he is now at TrackPhone. And let me give you a quick story about Jay. I always like to embarrass my speakers. I don't know why. It's just something that I do. But one of my first recollections of Jay was we were at a coffee shop and we were working together. We were talking about the transformation, and I had my team there. He had his team, and it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. It was that early. And he was so engaged about wanting to understand what does it take to convert, to transform an organization. And I've never seen so strategically, able to absorb this. But then he was able to actually go into the tactical, which was amazing. I've never seen somebody to be able to absorb that quickly. But here we are, and we were doing stickies at a coffee shop.
At a Starbucks.
At a Starbucks. It was amazing. It was like, and we would have never, I know everyone plans things, but you never know until you go through that journey. So it's been such an amazing experience to go through that. And he's done a great job there at TrackPhone. Support from the CEO to several other C-level executives that are really, really championing that. So I'm so excited to introduce Jay Smith as our keynote speaker. Jay, kick it off.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. So I was so impressed just to hear the opening, to hear the kind of servant leadership, the community outreach. It's really impressive. The level of optimism with the group. I'm very impressed with that initial chat session you did, Rick. Thank you so much for that introduction. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and talk with you guys this morning. I can sense the energy in the room, even though we're virtual. I see an engaging group. I see a group that is ready to collaborate. I would just encourage everyone, let's disconnect from the noise and the news and all of the things around us, and let's use this opportunity to really learn and continue to improve. I wanted to give this group a quick soundbite on TrackPhone. Rick gave a little bit of an intro. We're a business that's $8 billion in revenue, 22 million subscribers. We're the 4th largest carrier in the US with the recent merger of Sprint and T-Mobile. We have 2,000 workforce in Miami, and we have 15,000 total workforce globally. I love, Rick, I love the title of this event, Survive and Thrive. That means a lot to me personally. It means a lot to our company. And so I'll just start off from a surviving standpoint, right? I look at surviving as taking care of our people, number one, right? And I noticed in the poll, people was a little low. Would encourage the group to really think about the well-being of the people. That is the most important thing, and it's the number one priority that I have as we navigate this kind of journey, right? The number 2 priority in surviving is customers and making sure you're empathizing with your customers. Many of our customers are dealing with dire situations, and so that's part of surviving. And then the last one is our company and the health of our company. That's the kind of survive dimension. As I think about thriving is about continuing to evolve, continuing to transform. Rick mentioned about our agile transformation. We're leaning in heavier than before. We're innovating more and more than we ever have, even in these remote situations. And I'll be happy to share with you a little more about that as I go through the quick talk I'm going to have with you. Really, my goal in this few minutes I have with you is I impart a little bit of knowledge, and I hope that you're able to take 1 or 2 things away and use them in your business. I also hope in the Q&A, selfishly, I maybe get, you know, 1 or 2 nuggets that I can use as well, because we're never too senior or too old or too young to learn. I really embrace that mentality. I want to take you back on a journey 2 years ago when I started at TrackPhone. I was hungry, right? I was passionate about changing the company, changing the culture. My first day, I felt like I was transformed in a time machine back 20 years. And so the culture had a lot that we needed to do. And when I think about the things that were in place, I think about really a lack of engagement from the executives down to the frontline employees. I think about very little engaging communications. I think about, you know, a culture that didn't have empowerment, a little bit of command and control, maybe even a lot of command and control, a disinterested social media strategy. Really, our culture at the time was measuring employee feedback annually, right? And really not thinking about well-being. And then customer feedback monthly. And from a working from home standpoint, this is important, the theme of the, you know, kind of the event here. It wasn't until Q4 of 2019 that we were able to create a work from home pilot. And I'm pleased because I was able to create an environment where the employees felt safe to speak up, to take ownership, and really they drove the strategy for the work from home pilot. We were able to put it in place. We were able to establish a policy through a lot of hard work. I would even say a lot of skepticism because the culture really wasn't there yet. But thank God we had that pilot in place, and thank God the employees were able to rally from the grassroots to create it. And that is what gave us the position to be able to thrive as we went through the rest of the journey. Now I'll bring you forward to February of this year. I am sitting with my peers. We're talking about what we think is going to happen with the global situation, with the pandemic, with our customers, our business. I'll tell you personally, I felt emotions of nervousness, anxiety, uncertainty. And so we had very specific concerns. I had specific concerns around what we were going to be dealing with. One, I knew we were going to have emotional stress and emotional times with personal situations and professional situations. I thought we were going to have a disengaged workforce as we went remote, right? Less collaboration. Most importantly, I thought we were going to have less productivity. I thought our innovation cycle was going to decline. We had worked so hard prior to going remote, and I did not want that happen. But I was really concerned about how would we innovate? Innovation is all about collaboration, working together in a highly intense way. I was concerned about that. And then lastly, I was concerned about our ability to take a pilot to full scale working remote. And I knew we weren't going to have a lot of time. So as the CIO, I'm looking at it saying, I've got 200 people in a pilot. I've got to get to 2,000. How am I going to do that? And it was a bit daunting. So those are the concerns that I had as I looked at the February timeframe. This was when it was the start, right? We didn't have our first case in Florida yet, but it was beginning to look pretty onerous. Now fast forward to, let's say last week, right? I'm meeting with my direct reports, and I'm talking to them about how they're feeling. I'm talking to them about the results that we've seen. The results we saw were, yes, there was a stress level of emotion. Yes, there was the concern personally and professionally that each of us had at different levels, but that one we nailed from the original, what I thought to what I saw. Where I got it wrong completely was the collaboration. I would tell you I've seen dramatic increases in collaboration, emotional connections with employees that didn't exist before. I never thought we would see that. Most importantly, the productivity levels have been through the roof. And I would encourage you guys to think about if you've seen similar situations. We actually have another problem where I'm having to encourage folks to establish boundaries so that they don't work so hard that they burn out. That is something I never anticipated. Productivity is through the roof. Innovation, we've innovated at scale larger than we ever have, and I want to give you a specific example here in a little bit. And then the technology deployment and going from 200 to 2,000, it was hard. We did it, and we did it easier than I thought. Now I want to talk a little bit about our journey in terms of how we accomplished the results that we did. And I think this is really the most important part of what I'm going to speak about. I had the chance, I think this will resonate, I had a chance to listen to several customer calls. And if I go back to kind of before and then now, yeah, I listen to customer calls. And in this example is a customer care situation. I listen to customer calls every single day. And that's another difference between before and now. This specific customer call was about a gentleman in New York City in the ICU, very close to going on a ventilator, pleading with us as a company to give them a few more days to be able to pay their service. And what I'm most proud of is that we've been able to pivot and give customers what they need in this situation, is particularly when they're in a dire situation like what I just described. And one of the things as a company and as I individually really, really aspire to and relate is Simon Sinek's Infinite Game. If you haven't read that book, please do. That's our perspective. That's my perspective. That's how we run the business. And so we're making decisions for our employees, for our customers that really are not about this quarter, this month, even if it's not to our financial benefit. In some cases, we're investing in our customers and their loyalty. And we've empowered our frontline employees. So back to the story I mentioned of the customer care agent. Our customer care agents are empowered to take care of our customers, even if it means a financial cost to the company. And that's the kind of company I'm proud to be with, and that's the kind of culture that I've helped create at TrackPhone. I'd also tell you that prioritizing social time, prioritizing virtual town halls, coffee times, those kinds of things, really critical. Not work, no work agenda, right? It's about coming together as a team, making sure we're good, giving us tips and techniques on how to balance this kind of uncertain and difficult situation that we're all in. You know, we put together stand-ups, and they're not the typical stand-ups like you would imagine in the agile space where, you know, what'd you do today? What are you going to do tomorrow? What obstacles do you have? It's not that. It's how are you doing? Are you okay? Do you have any concerns? Can we help you? So the compassion, the caring, the well-being, that really has trumped everything. And for me personally, that's what it's about during this time. And that's what propels companies coming out of this situation to be far stronger, far better. And I think I heard that in one of the chats early on. This nation, this community, the companies, they're all going to be stronger as a result of this situation. I'm convinced of it. I want to talk a little bit on the innovation front specifically. I want to give you an example of what I mean by innovating at scale beyond what we could do when we were in the office. Okay, so 1 week ago, my head of innovation is on our daily task force call, which by the way has our full executive team on it and a broader cross-functional team. So the level of engagement with our executives now to the broader group has tremendously increased. The innovation lead raises her hand and says, hey, I don't know if this is the right time to talk about this, but I just heard a very big customer problem that I think we can solve. This is 1 week ago. Suggested a hackathon. We immediately said, yes, let's do it. We immediately said, we're going to do it as a full company. Since then, over 1 week, we've had a call to action from the CEO, my boss, to the entire company to say, we're going to do this. We want the full company to participate. We've set aside a full day on Monday, this coming Monday, to innovate and solve this problem and deliver a solution in 30 days. And I would tell you that in the office, that never would have happened. So if I go back to February, never would have happened. Never would have been able to pivot in 1 week and rally the entire company to solve a customer problem. Okay, so I think that's another example of the silver lining and how we're learning. The other thing I would tell you is the virtual town halls and the level of connection. So not only that task force that I mentioned, but every week we are communicating as an executive team. I'm communicating to my team. The CEO is communicating to the entire company. And so the level of interaction and the level of accessibility that we have has been tremendously trumped from where we were before. On the execution of work from home, I want to paint a vision for you. So 200 employees that are working from home in a pilot situation with a pilot policy, and still what I would say skepticism in the organization on whether it even made sense to take it to scale. Okay, that was approved in the fourth quarter of 2019. Now in February, we need to execute, in early March, we need to execute a massive 1,800 plus deployment of laptops and VPNs. So we took our training center of 100 plus people, that the size of the room fits 100 plus people. We established a production line with sanitary, with everything in it, social distancing, and we were able to deploy those laptops and VPNs with the collaboration tools and the proper training in 72 hours. An unbelievable exercise of collaboration that the entire team was able to do, and I was happy to be the leader that was responsible for making that happen. I would tell you that the collaboration tool front didn't take a lot of work. There was the necessity of you needed to use it, and what I saw in terms of lessons learned and sharing of information and, hey, how do we do this? Hey, here's how you do this. It was just magical to be a part of. So I'll leave you with a couple of things, and then I want to show you something. So I'll leave you with, there's really three ways that you can think about approaching the situation we're in. You can be pragmatic, okay? You can be pessimistic, or you can be optimistic. I'm practicing optimism. As you've heard me talk from the things that I've said, there's an end at this that's going to be stronger and better and brighter than we've ever seen. And optimism is the way to be. I want to show you a video that really inspired me, and I think will inspire you about what the future holds. Rick, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Thank you, Jay. Let me go ahead and share the video. Hold on. Everybody hear me? I want to make sure.
Volume.
Yes.
Can't wait for a year's time when all of this
Yeah,
is
no,
I think you have to do the
Share the sound.
There's a rise in small businesses because all the entrepreneurs had a moment of stillness
Hold on.
and creativity. The virus crisis is changing life as we know it dramatically.
A glitch in the matrix.
I can't wait for a year's time when all of this is a distant memory. And there is a corona baby.
The virus crisis is changing life as we know it dramatically tonight.
I can't wait for a year's time when all of this is a distant memory. And there is a corona baby boom because all the lovers were loving. And there is a rise in small businesses because all the entrepreneurs had a moment of stillness and creativity. And all the children remember nothing but a time when all the mums and dads were at home drawing and playing ball games, and we remember it as the time we all got to stop and be present. We will remember the time our health was our first priority, and people learned new ways to use fresh produce to feed their families. We remember the laughter and fun on TikTok, FaceTiming with our friends and family each day, date nights in the house, and home PE workouts with Joe Wicks. A time our real heroes in the NHS urged us to stay at home for the greater good, and our country showing their support by turning Wembley and the Angel of the North blue. And we were all forced to think outside the box and dream up new things and reinvent old ways, and for once, even amongst the chaos, there was community. There was a global rise in togetherness, and as the streets were quiet, our homes were bustling with love and laughter. That time is coming soon, just like any other crisis before it. This will all be a distant memory, a thing we soon listen to our children discuss in classrooms, or once was, that we share with our grandchildren. So to you, I know it's unsettling, but focus on the silver lining. We're all in this together, and there is so much beauty to see.
So Rick, I'd like to just close by thanking, if everybody can still hear me, by thanking the group, thanking the PMI group, thanking you and the Transformation Experts team. I've enjoyed the interaction, and I look forward to hearing how the event turns out. I wish you guys the best of luck and the greatest of collaboration. Cheers.
Woo!
Thank you.
Great job. Great
Thank
job.
you.
So any quick questions that are on the chat? And I know we don't have much time because we're jumping to several other sessions, but do you have any conversation there that we would like to?
Ask Jay. Any questions for Jay on the chat?
No questions so far, but we do have a lot of thank you, Jay. That was great, awesome speech. Feel very inspired. It was very helpful. Great stuff, and lots of thanks.
Hey Jay, quick question for you. When we get by this, have you given any thought to maybe the transition back?
Yes. So great question. Very relevant and timely question. The answer is yes, although I would say the thinking is still evolving, and I'll share with you some of our considerations so far. Some of the things I brought to the table. Really, there will be never the kind of the old way, right? There'll be a phased approach to how we start to collaborate more personally. We see from returning to office, I think there'll be phased in terms of, in order to keep the distance, there'll be some people that come one time, some people that come at another time. I also see temperature checking and maybe even testing before folks come back to work. I see working from home being accepted at a far greater level because we've proven the productivity of it. The team members are going to be excited about that. I think that overall, we're going to see the new normal be a far greater level of hybrid, working further apart, but having greater levels of collaboration.
Thank you, sir.
One more question. Again, we're trying to move it on. And what we're going to do, just so that everyone's clear with this, is any questions that you have for Jay, we're going to go ahead and capture it. And we're going to follow up with Jay and get some answers to that. So he's not going to sneak away. We'll have a good grasp on him. Any other question that we want to address?
Where do you plan to? Oh, there's a great one here. Jay, where do you plan to be in 3 years?
Okay. So I have aspirations, two kind of parallel tracks, and I have no problem sharing them with. I've shared them with my boss. So one is a CEO track. I think I add value from a leadership standpoint far greater than just IT, and I would be humbled and proud to lead a company overall. So that's one track, and particularly within the America Mobile family, which is TracFone's a key part. I got to learn Spanish though, so I might need some help, Rick. So that's got a one track. The other track would be, CIO for a Fortune 100. Got some interest out there, but I'm not done at TracFone yet. So don't anybody get any early conclusions. We've got to finish the journey at TracFone first. But those would be the two things that I see in my horizon.
Awesome. Again, thank you very much, Jay, for having you. Excellent job.
Thank you, Rick, for having me. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the event. Cheers, guys.
All right,
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so great job, Jay. And we're going to go ahead and open up now the PowerPoint so that we could talk about the rest of the event. Hope that you guys are enjoying yourself. And let me share my screen. And I'm going in here to, okay. So terrific. So now is where I really want to challenge everyone in the event. So we've got over 200 participants that I see so far in the event. At this point is where I think the most challenging part of this event will happen. Okay, I need to coordinate a session where everyone's going to use Zoom and update their information. And I'm going to do it by a little icebreaker. So this is the challenge. Everyone in Zoom, when they log in, they have a name, your name, right? So I would like to see how we could change your name and maybe put a superhero next to your name, right? So right now, my name is host Rick Regera. But if I wanted to change it and for it to actually say something else, I believe I have my slide presentation here. These are the steps that I would follow, okay? So just understand, and I know some of you guys are using different applications, but these are foundational. Even on your phone, you have a method of doing this. So the first thing you want to do in Zoom is you want to locate your Zoom, right? So this is like Zoom. You see the toolbar at the bottom, and you should see participants here. Shouldn't say 3, it should say like 200, right? 199, one person just dropped off, not acceptable, okay? So we have an area there where it says participants, okay? Should be easy to find. The next step that I need you to do is once you click that participant, all I want you to do is you'll notice that your name is on the top of the list right there. Your name is on the top of the list, okay? So there's a little more button next to it. And the idea behind it, if you were to click the more, you would have the ability to change your name. See where it says rename? And you would actually be able to put a different name. So the challenge is to put something different than your name. A superhero, right? So what is the superhero that you admire? And I'm curious to see how many of us can actually change our names right now and have a superhero. So I'm going to be reviewing the list and seeing how many different types of superheroes we have out there. And this
Rick, this is Tim. Can you see mine?
I have not yet, Tim, but I swear I'm going to look at it in a second. Hold on. So the exercise is going to help us to make sure that we know easily how to change this, so that when we're able to go into the different sessions, all we're going to need to do is actually put, do I want to go to session 1, session 2, or session 3? So I need to see how this is going. Regina, how's the list going so far?
We got some good ones here.
Tim said that he had something. Let me see. What was Tim's? Did we see Tim's?
Lardman.
Huh? He's what?
Lardman.
Oh, nice. Who else? What other superheroes are out there? You got any?
Popeye.
Wonder Woman.
Oh my God, Popeye. Oh my God, Popeye.
Popeye.
Okay, what else?
We've got
Batman. Yeah.
There's one person on the bridge.
Captain America, CA.
Nice. Okay, so it's the majority. So give me a count on how many people have been successful. I'm just curious, how well did I explain this? And how good did Rick do in actually having this exercise completed? So how many of us?
We have a lot. Actually, we have Doctor Strange over here. We're still missing a lot of people. Right now, people are changing their names.
That's okay. Doctor Strange, I love that. That's a good one.
Master of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe.
We've got Gamora.
I love it.
And the Flash.
The Flash. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Green Lantern. We have Green Lantern over here.
Okay, great.
What else? We have.
Okay. All right. So I'm just giving you a couple.
We got a lot of Wonder Womans.
A lot of Wonder Woman. What's going on?
Oh, woman power!
Guys.
Wonder Woman.
And one Xena.
We have.
I love Xena.
We have Spider-Man and Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider.
Does anybody remember Isis? Does anybody remember Isis?
Isis, the Egyptian goddess?
Yeah.
All right. How's it looking?
I do Regina.
Okay, I know. We're a little bit from that generation.
All right. Let's keep looking at the bridge. How else?
Starfire and Starman, I guess.
All right.
Storm from the X-Men.
I love it. Love it. All right. So now that we feel strong that you guys are able to do that, or at least the majority of you guys, if you can't, I understand, and the admins are there to help you, but it might not affect you. And what I mean by that is depending on what session you go to. Okay, so now that you know how to change the name, and we've played this small exercise, the idea is to now decide, I'm going to go back to the other slide here, is with our speakers in the different slots, we need to decide where is it that you want to go. What's presentation? Does this mean that now I can't see the other presentations, Rick? There's 6 great speakers here. Why is that? No, we're going to record the sessions. So you're not going to miss out. You're going to go to one sessions, but we'll have all the recordings. We're going to have it in the PMI site, and we're going to have it in our site as well. So you're going to be able to review all the sessions and what came out of that session. Okay, so please don't worry about that. So understand the speakers that are taking, understand the tracks, right? So, and this is not the correct time, but I guess we are moving kind of that time. So the first track is going to be in room 1. We're going to have best practices for working remotely. So that's Regina. Regina, you want to say anything quick about that?
This is part of the people track. Overall, great tips and tricks on how to facilitate, be a co-facilitator, and work with your teams during this remote time and still have them be high performing. Awesome.
The second one is processes, which is Marcelo. Marcelo, you there?
Yeah, Mom, I'm here. I got strong-armed into including the word VUCA, which I hate as an acronym. But we're going to look at that funny word and what that means to your processes now that we're all working remotely from each other.
And on tools, Anderson, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, I'm going to work with Art. Art's on the call as well. We're going to create a very interesting life cycle for you guys where you can do exactly everything you would do normally physically, but now remotely. We're going to give you all the tools you need to do everything you need to do and still be more productive. So we are very, very excited for that.
Right. So you should know it's not the same presentation twice. The first part is going to be more general, and then in the second session, we're going to get into the specifics within a life cycle.
Awesome. So think of that as the first round, and then we have the second round that we're kicking off as well. And the first room in that case is navigating change when rapidly remote. And we have Mark. How you doing, Mark?
Good. So this one's also in the people track, and you know, the title kind of says it all. I've worked with teams, remote teams, for well over 15 years, and have seen some that have moved rapidly into remote, not quite as fast as we've had this last month or so, but give you some ideas on how to handle the situation you're in now and what's to come, because it's going to be a while before we resolve this. Oh, and Marcelo's waving my book around. Thank you, Marcelo.
Nice. An author. We got a great job, Mark. All right, in the second room, we got overcoming remote working challenges. Heidi and Leon, talk to us.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me to speak here today. And so I also have lots of experience working with distributed and remote teams back since 1999. And throughout that time, I've discovered strategies for success. So what does your team need to consider in order to be successful when we're working remotely, especially when you're suddenly working remotely? And so those are the things that I hope to leave you with some actual concrete tips when you go back to work on Monday, what you can do to be successful with your newly remote team.
Awesome. Thank you, Heidi. And Leon, anything you want to say, sir?
Yeah, I think I'd love to talk about working with your coworkers, your new coworkers, meaning your kids and pets and dogs and cats and everything else. How are you doing with your new coworkers? So we're going to be talking about that too.
Awesome. Great job. And I believe we've already mentioned number 3, which Anderson and Arthur mentioned that. Awesome. So see it. There's 2 sessions going, right? So we got the first one that's going from, again, 9:50, maybe a little bit earlier, to around 10:45, and we'll adjust a little bit if we need to on time. But the idea behind it is that you guys can go ahead and determine what session you want to go to. How do you do this? Very simple. The same way you changed your superhero, you're going to be able to put a number in front of your superhero. So if I want to stay in the best practices for working remotely with Regina, I would put a number 1 in front of my name. If I want to do room 2, where I want to do with processes, I would put a number 2 in front of my name. And the last one of 3, if I wanted to go into tools. Like I told you earlier, it will be recorded. we will make sure you share it, and we'll have more collaboration sessions in the future. So don't think this is the end of it. Yes, it's free, but we're giving back to you guys. Okay, so that's the first round. Then we'll regroup again and we'll worry about the second round. Okay, so right now what I need you to do is I need you to start listing on your name which number. If you don't put a number, you will stay in the main bridge, which we're going to have Regina work on that main bridge.
Put a
Okay,
number one.
so
Yeah.
put a number one just to indicate. And if you don't, that's fine. You'll stay there anyways. Okay, just want to make sure if you're having problems and you can't figure out the tool, you will be in Regina's session, which I think will be a fun session. Okay, so please start updating your list. The coaches are going to go ahead and go to their rooms, and they're going to wait for you there so that they can start talking through it. Now, we're probably looking for maybe a 5-minute break, guys. I know some of you guys might want to get quick water and come back in. So that's what I'm estimating, a quick 5-minute break. So if we're looking at the time, I know it is 9:50 is what we're talking about, but let's make it 9:52. Okay. I don't know if that's too.
But go ahead and put your number before taking the break. That way the admins can very quickly move you to the correct room when you come back.
Yes, you need to do that now. You really want to make sure you're doing that number change right now so that we can disperse you and put you guys into the room. Have a good time. The sessions are going to be engaging. They're going to be collaborative, and they're going to ask a lot of questions. You're going to have a great time. Okay?
Yeah.
So,
Regina, these people love you.
What? No. I'm having a hard time picking the number.
No.
I see a lot of ones.
I see the VUCA.
This is where the jealousy across.
Yeah.
We're supposed to
I gotta wear my hat, Art. I should.
Yeah. Trying to drum up business here.
Oh my goodness. Okay. We're on in this. We're gonna figure this out again. So please put what's the percentage of people that have been updating their stuff? Can someone give me some numbers, please?
Sure, we have a lot of people, right? Going to 2 and 3.
Okay.
Going to 3 is process, 2 is tool, and number 1
No,
it's
3 is tools.
No. So
3 is tools.
3 is tools.
So
And 2 is
1 is
processing.
people, 2 is process, 3 is technology or tools, technology. Okay. So again, are we ready, guys? I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and start moving people into the rooms. Speakers, please take care of your room, and then we'll call you guys back into the main session.
Admins, please remember to send Professor X to the room that I belong in.
Correct. Yeah, you have to send the coaches, and we should tell everybody that if you want to change a room midstream, that's okay. Just put a note in the chat.
Yes, thank you. Good point, Art. And you guys can do that in your speaker session. So if for some reason you feel like you need to change and it's not as exciting for you, you can go ahead and switch. It's like that open space type of format. Okay, enjoy. And we will be starting in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes. Thank you again for being here. And I will be available via chat if you need me as well. And I think the admins are taking care of all that. And as soon as Regina logs in, she's turning on her computer right now. She's going to go ahead and start. So this is the main session. So thank you guys for staying with us in the main session. We're going to have the way Regina is going to do her exercise is very collaborative, and there's going to be a lot of conversation. So with a large amount of group, we need to make sure that we're working well. And there are going to be several coaches. So me and her, and maybe we might have some other coaches also assist in this session.
Rick, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Regina. So if you want me, I can stop sharing my screen, Regina, and you can go ahead and start sharing yours. Let me know if you're listed as a co-presenter.
Okay, I think you're still sharing.
Okay, I'm going to stop mine. That's a nice bike in the background, Regina.
But we have a number 4 on the list.
Okay. That's okay. Just communicate with them to see what.
Assign me with Marcelo, please.
Okay.
Room 2.
Yes, go in there.
All right, as she's setting that up,
Where is the number placed?
in the front of the name, you're gonna go ahead and place a number in the front of your name. Like you changed for superhero, you're just gonna go ahead and put a number in the front of your name.
Okay, I missed the.
That's okay. We're gonna walk you through it right now. Okay. So if you go, let me try to see if I can help you in a different chat because I don't want to interrupt this session right now. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the chat line.
Thank you.
And I'm going to go ahead and put the instructions. If you go to the website, the instructions are there related to, why am I sending this to Hulk? Everyone. Well, let me see.
Okay, slowly but surely, everybody's moving into the rooms while
Marcelo,
working on that.
You should be in your room, right?
I have not been sent to my room as yet.
Okay.
Although technically, I.
Yes, you could. If you're already assigned, you could go. You can click on the breakout room.
Yeah.
Give me a second. I can't see you on the list. Why?
It should be under coach in front of it.
Okay, I see you guys.
Yep.
Okay.
Can you send me on the team, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on it.
And
I'm sorry, just.
It's fine.
It's okay.
Guys, remember you're talking on the main bridge with over 100-something people on the bridge.
And what are we supposed to see?
Okay, so can you all hear me okay? And I am sharing my screen.
Yes, we're seeing it.
I can hear you, see you, and see your screen.
Okay, wonderful.
We just need the admins to move more people, so check the chat. But you can go ahead, Regina.
Okay, so we're ready to get started? Awesome. Let me go ahead and put on the chat. Do I have Neilu on the line?
Yes.
Okay, great. So Neilu, you got the chat. You're helping me out with that. I guess
yes,
Leon, you're helping me out as well. Wonderful. Okay, so welcome to the people side of how do we adjust in this new, or perhaps some of you with some experience in the working remotely best practices. How many people do we have in the session, Neilu?
We have 70 people right now.
Regina,
okay.
Can I pause a second? I just want to make
yes.
sure. How many people do we have on the session?
Right now, 153.
How are you moving all the coaches? How are you doing? Are you done with that?
It's in process.
No, I'm still on it. I'm still on it.
You gotta mute your line.
Okay, and then Neilu and Jesus, I see somebody that's on the chat that says that they requested room 3.
Yeah, they're working on it, Regina. It's gonna take a little while.
Okay.
Should have given it a little bit more time.
All right. It's 9:56. Are we starting?
Yeah, go ahead and start, Regina. Go ahead and start.
Okay, awesome. So rule of thumb, same thing. I know we've got my superheroes in breakout room. Woo! So thank you so much for joining me in breakout 1, all my superheroes. I'm a big superhero fan, Marvel Comics, you name it. I'm actually Wonder Woman, so that was my secret superhero. PDUs, I think you all are aware, this is an event that you will get PDUs for. Mute your lines if you're not talking, but I do want to see your faces so that if you guys have any questions, you can also raise your hands or go ahead and put your questions on the chat. And the admins are here to help you out with anything that you need. You'll see their names with the word admin in front of the chat name that's listed there. So you guys know Rick. He's one of our favorite, my personal favorite coach of all of them. Thank you, Rick. And as for myself, I've been in the industry for, oh my goodness, now over 25 years. Originally, worked in business and IT system and project and IT deliveries, a lot of experience in a lot of different industries, HR, manufacturing, ERPs, you name it. But then I went agile. And I never turned back. And so now I'm an enterprise agile coach, transforming companies and helping out, wherever needed, and doing business transformation and also business process improvement. So a lot of exciting things there. Right now, we are in a critical time, right? A lot has been changing that we were not expecting. A lot of us are very scared for our jobs. A lot of us have lost our jobs. A lot of us are scared for families. Those of us that are in a job, we're like, wow, we gotta very quickly adjust to this new way of working so that we can keep our jobs, so that we can continue to produce and serve our customers. So how do we best do that? How do we best help our teams in this new environment that we're working in now with the fears, and at the same time make sure that we're still being productive, right? Those are a lot of the questions that we've been getting from our clients, from our community. The main thing that we started talking about this morning is, no matter what, we have to stay positive. No matter what, we want to stay grateful, right? In the midst of all of this, we have to help each other out and we have to support each other. So we're gonna do a quick exercise, and I need Neilu
Yes,
in
ma'am.
the chat. Can you please, in the chat, go ahead and put the jam board.
Yes.
We're gonna also do a little bit of tools. There's a great whiteboard tool called Jamboard that I've been using a lot for my remote facilitation. I've been using it to do fun activities with my teams. I've also been using it to actually get some work done. And it's called Jamboard, and it's free. It's a Google app. We're gonna test it out and have you all go through that experience. So in the chat, I'm gonna have Neilu put, let me see here. She's gonna go to the chat and she's gonna put the link.
Yes, you don't have it on the link right now.
Okay, I want everybody to double click on the chat. Let me see, Lou, I'm still not seeing it on mine. I'm scrolling all the way down to the bottom.
Okay, just let me share it again on the chat, and then I'm gonna share it with you on the private.
Okay, it looks like you have to copy it and paste it. Does everybody, I'm sharing my screen. You see right here where it says Jamboard Google? I'm gonna copy it, okay?
Can you see it on the chat, everyone? I just shared the link. You should
I'm
have
highlighting it. She put it in the 10 a.m. Communication.
Thank you. Thank you for your feedback.
All right, so I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna open up a new browser. I'm gonna hit paste.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna hit enter. Oh my goodness, there's currently too many people viewing this file. Please try again later. I think we got more than the 50, right?
Yeah, so I'm gonna share a copy right now. So everyone who couldn't get into the first link can get into the other, okay?
Okay, awesome.
Be aware, people.
It's coming. Where's your copy?
Please let me know if you see it on the chat.
Not yet.
Okay. Okay.
Is it the one at 10:01?
No, it's right now. Oh, I shared it to someone privately. I'm sorry. Here it is. This is
Okay,
the copy.
there it is.
Can you see it?
All right, I'm copying it from the chat. I'm going back to my browser. All right, I'm in. Woohoo! Okay, so the people from the first that hit the first link, the people that just hit the second link, is everybody in? Is everybody seeing this right here? Give me a yes, give me a hoot.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Is there anybody that has not been able to get in who needs a third link? Or are we all good?
Yes, if please, if someone cannot get in link number 1 or link number 2, let me know so I can share with you a third link.
All right, so all the links are the same, okay? And in all the links, we are in frame bar number 1 of 20. Is everybody there? You should see a title that says Icebreaker. There's a question that says, what am I grateful for? And then here's how we're gonna do this game. I'm gonna hover over to the left. You see where it says sticky note? I'm gonna double click on sticky note and I'm gonna type in, I am grateful for my family. You hit save, but then you immediately hit cancel and you'll be getting out of that. So the instructions are, everybody go ahead and pick a sticky, pick a color, write down what you're grateful for right now. We wanna see the pop-ups, and I know that Nelu, you're looking at the first link, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, Regina, do you wanna have somebody share the first link? Because there's a bunch on there.
There's a bunch? Okay, I think Nelu, are you okay with that?
Yes.
Let's do one at a time. Let's do one at a time. Let me wait for this one, and then
Yes.
we'll go ahead and switch the sharing.
Okay, everyone, did you have the chance to get into the link number 1 or number 2? If you didn't, I have link number 3 here. Let me share it again, just in case you couldn't get in 1 or 2. We have link number 3 here.
So Nelu's in number 1, I'm in number 2. Leon, if you can get into number 3, is that okay?
Okay, I'm gonna go to number 2, just to be with people number 2. Okay. Yeah, we have people. We have on the link number 3. We've got 9 people so far.
Great.
10.
Okay, so
Sorry.
Nelu,
Yes,
can you
ma'am.
read some of the items in number 1?
Of course. So we have. I am grateful for family, friends, the health of my family and friends. I'm grateful for this session. Great job so far. I'm grateful to still be able to work. Grateful for having my wife's awesome cooking. Okay. My loved ones are healthy. That's a great thing to be thankful for. Grateful for Wonder Woman. Me too.
Awesome.
The comforts of my home. Lots of family. I'm thankful for Christ. I'm thankful for my Peloton. There's someone playing with a laser. Good job. Cold beer in my fridge. Nice. Dedication of my company and family. Grateful for my health and my job. I'm grateful for my family. Thank you, Dorothy.
Awesome. Awesome. So in Jamboard number 2,
Yeah,
I got a really good one here. I am grateful for toilet paper. Who's grateful for toilet paper? I love that one. Hopefully you have a good supermarket by your home that you can actually find some toilet paper in. My family, safe and healthy. Everyone in my family. Time for exercise. I'm actually getting a little bit more exercise than I have in the past few years. Trying to definitely prioritize that. Health, family, for everyone who reached out to check on me, to be able to still work, right? That's very good. Technology and a self-sufficient kid. That's good. So spending time with your kids. Let's see, Leon, what do we have in Jamboard number 3?
No, I was unable to get to Jamboard number 3, so I was in Jamboard number 1.
All right, who's in Jamboard number 3 that wants to help us out?
I'm in Jamboard number 3, and I see here I'm grateful for having a job.
Okay.
And family and dog, my colleagues. Here it is. What else do we have? We have my colleagues, grateful for having time at home and adopting a second cat.
Oh my goodness.
And thankful for awesome work environment.
Great. All right, guys. So this was a test, right? To hopefully have you all get comfortable with this nice, fun tool. We use these tools to do retrospectives. You can design this tool in so many different ways. You can paste pictures, play Pictionary, play charades, have people draw things. You can also use the stickies to do brainstorming sessions for work. So there's a lot of great options with this tool here. Again, it's called Jamboard. So now I want you to go on the top, stay in your personal Jamboards, go to pane number 3. You should be in the whiteboard that says, what are your biggest challenges from working from home? And I want you to add some stickies in your Jamboard number 3 and tell us what are your biggest challenges right now. I'm gonna add my personal one. Yeah, we got some good ones. How are we doing with Jamboard number 1, Nelu? You got some good ones there? And number 3?
We've got great. Hey, Leon, let me pass it on the link number 3 again, just to make sure if you can get in there. Give me a second. There we go. Please let me know if you can get in. Okay, so we have on the number 1, we've got what is your current experience working from home? People are not still putting on here. People, you have to go to frame number 2, people who are on link number 3 and people who are on link number 1.
Okay, it's the third pane, right? The one with the biggest challenges working from home.
Yes, third frame. Okay, so I'm here on link number 1. We have what is the biggest challenge in personal time? Taking a break, finding work, connectivity, communication with the team on site, working too much. I've been a remote worker for 5 years. There's someone who's actually pretty happy. No challenge is perfect. Never been off of work. I feel like I am on a call all the time because I never leave the office. Challenging, limited ability to interact with team members, sitting too long. Disconnecting from work, missing coworkers and friends. Challenging things, taking care of elderly parents at the same time. Following up with people who don't attend online meetings. Getting a good quality connection to communicate with the team members in South America.
Wow, okay.
Wow.
Some good one. All right, in link number 2,
yes.
Working while my husband is not. Oh, that's not fair. That's not fair. All right, workspace, uncomfortable office environment. Somebody ordered a standing desk. Guess what? I got a good one from Office Depot. I don't know if everybody can see this. Can somebody see this? I have some good recommendations. It's light, it's got wheels. So if you have any questions on that, reach out to me afterwards, okay? Standing desk is very important because sitting down all the time is not good for your body. Wake up and start working in my space. I had personally put lines between work and home time, too much work, stepping away from the computer, working late, reliable internet connection, keep people from multitasking during virtual meetings, okay, facilitators. None, I've been more productive. That's pretty good. Too many emails surrounding distractions. All right, in link number 3, what do we have?
Okay. So link number 3, we have Okay, so we have missed my team not getting work done as fast as I do off-site, not responding to emails at 11 p.m. Focusing is a very, very big one. My dog barking during conference calls. Physical movement, no personal interaction, distraction, husband and dog. Okay, so dog is an important thing here. Stopping work at the end of the day, miss my monitor, stopping work.
Awesome. Okay. So thank you for sharing. I'm going to go back to the main presentation. Can everybody see the main presentation now? And I'm sharing. Can everybody see the main presentation now?
Yeah, we're
yes
now on our experience.
Okay, perfect. So at Transformation Experts, we've actually had a 100% remote team for the last 2 years. We have a lot of great learning and lessons learned, and we wanted to kind of present our team. So Nelu, tell us a little bit about where is our team located?
So we are locating in different parts of the globe right now. Many of us come from Venezuela. And right now, for example, my name is Neilu and I am in Colombia right now.
We can run this thing and she's talking.
We have Alfonso, who is right now in Salta in Argentina. We have Natalia, who's working from Mexico. We have Monica, who's working from Colombia. We have Jesus there. Jesus is working from Peru.
We should all,
And I think Rick should probably go on mute. Rick, are you on mute?
No, I'm here, Regina, sorry.
Okay, are you sharing? Okay, all right, good. All right, so this is Rick and our admin remote team kind of presenting the folks. So yeah, we got people in Mexico, we've got people in Peru, Colombia, Argentina, and Venezuela. So we have a lot of great lessons learned from this 100% remote team. A lot of these folks have not met each other in person. Their relationship has started as they started working together for Transformation Experts. But they've been using Zoom for 2 years. They've been collaborating. They've been communicating. They've been working and delivering to our customers. So we have some really good experience and lessons learned that we can share with all of you from our perspective. All right, thank you, Nelu. Some fact or fiction. Let's see if some of these are fact or fiction. What do you guys think? Remote workers tend to be more educated. Is that true or not? Remote workers are lonely and unhappy. I don't know about that. Meetings are ineffective. Productivity is decreasing. Remote employees are more engaged. Remote work is the fastest growing commute option. Brainstorming remotely fails. Remote work keeps older people in the workforce longer. That's an interesting one. So some of these are some facts or fictions that the industry has been buzzing about remote working in the last couple of years. These may all not be true to the world that we live in today. So let's talk about some of the pain points that we've heard. And the most important feedback we just got is the feedback that we just got from all of you right now, right? A lot of you said connectivity is an issue. A lot of the companies that we support, they don't have enough bandwidth for the flux of remote workers that they currently have right now, if that was not a standard policy that they had in the past. And they just started doing that right now. So VPN and connectivity has been a huge issue for some companies. Your workspace. A lot of us have always been in the office and we don't have ergonomically set up space in our homes where we could work. Privacy blurred lines. Now you're home with your kids, with your cats, with your dogs. You know, they're walking into the room. I was in a meeting the other day and, you know, we had a business analyst who had her baby on her lap because that's what she normally does when she's at home. She didn't have anybody else to take care of her baby. And you know what? That's actually okay. We as leaders and as managers have to be okay with that because she's still working, but she's also taking care of her family at the same time. Building trust. Leaders, you have to trust your employees. You have to trust that they're doing the right thing. This is part of the change in culture. Guess what? If you work in an organization where trust has not been prevalent. This is a great opportunity for you to turn that ship around. Have a different conversation with your employees. Trust them. They want to do a good job, and trust that they do. Conflict resolution. How do you still have that same face-to-face and ability to have conversations now when you're not physically in the same room with everybody, right? How do you have that camaraderie? How do you keep that same energy level and motivation with your employees and your teams? Those are some of the questions we're going to be talking about in this session. Social isolation. For those that are by themselves in a home or in an apartment, and they used to love going into the office, they may be going stir crazy. What can you do with your teams to help remediate and alleviate some of that social isolation? So here are the known industry remote struggles: unplugging after work, loneliness, collaboration, communication, distractions at home, being in a different time zone, staying motivated, taking vacation time. Now people feel guilty about taking a day off. You know, we've got some holidays coming up and people are like, well, I'm at home. Should I actually take the day off or not? How do we differentiate, you know, that time off from working? How is that going to be seen by your supervisors, right? And then obviously the connectivity part. So people, process, and tools is the main focus. So I'm going to ask the coaches, what competencies does a virtual team need? You know, in your organizations, a lot of you already work for high-performing teams, but now you're taking those teams out of their comfort zone. What are some of the competencies and characteristics that you're expecting for these teams to have now in a virtual environment to continue to be high performing? I want to hear from you guys. So let's see, we're going to ask the coaches, but if some of you can answer in the chat, what do you think could take your teams in this virtual environment to continue to be high performing? What are you expecting of them? And if you're part of the team, what are you expecting of each other? I'm looking at the chat.
Yes, we have self-discipline here.
Mm-hmm. Self-motivate.
Yes. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let's see, we've got organizational skills, empathy, positivity, discipline and attention to detail, definite understanding of tools being used, constant communication, self-driven, availability, focus on the task, time management, a desire to communicate with each other, availability to each other, motivation, open communication channels, use tools correctly, common courtesy. That's a good one. So these are some very, very good ones. You're all on the dot there. I think a lot of you have already been successfully working remotely with your team, so thank you for sharing. So definitely independent, self-motivated, and disciplined. Intercultural sensitivity, that's a good one too. Managing complexity and uncertainty, being proactive and cooperating, networking, competencies to use the tools, trustworthiness, openness, and honesty, and emotional intelligence. These are very, very important. So let's talk about some examples, some best practices when facilitating remote, either ad hoc meetings, ongoing meetings, agile ceremonies, or brainstorming sessions. Okay, one of the biggest complaints that we've heard is if you were in the office, just standard business as usual, a common pain point is we have way too many meetings, okay? That's just in the office, business as usual. That's a lot of the pain points that we've always heard. Guess what? Now that we've gone remote, we're hearing from folks that meetings have doubled, that meetings have actually doubled, okay? So what can you do differently? What can you do differently? This is a great opportunity, and we're doing this with some of our departments that we support. Take a look at your existing meetings. have a brainstorming session as a team and say, hey guys, let's look at the existing meetings that we originally had. What was the purpose of these meetings? Okay. How productive were these meetings? Who was attending these meetings? Ask those questions and then identify which meetings are non-value added. This is from your existing meetings that now you're just rolling over to having them as conference calls remotely. Which meetings are not productive? Which meetings might have had the same information, the same people, and the same outcomes? Do that first. Look at your existing meetings, do a quick analysis of which ones can you get rid of that were non-value added, okay? And then either consolidate some meetings or get rid of some of the ones that are non-needed. That's a recommendation that we've been doing with some of the departments to some of the organizations that we have been supporting, okay? Then the question is, how about if we need like an immediate meeting? A lot of you, apart from your scheduled meetings, have like immediate meetings that you get called into. In Zoom and in Microsoft Teams, there's the option to open up a channel. If some of you use, how many of you use Microsoft Teams? How many of you use, anybody uses Microsoft Teams? Okay, I see a lot of yeses.
Yes,
so in Microsoft Teams, a lot of us, you open up a channel. If the channel has a team of people, you can immediately call a channel meeting, and everybody in that channel will be called to a meeting immediately. Okay, so that's an option for ad hoc meetings. But here's the thing, leaders, facilitators, always make sure, especially in the situation that we're in right now, that you have an objective for your meeting, that you have an agenda for your meeting, whether it's ongoing or whether it's ad hoc. Make sure that when your people are coming together, that you're calling people together, that there's a purpose, an objective, and a very specific outcomes and action items at the end of your meetings. If you do not have any of that, then people should not be meeting. Let's just say that as a rule of thumb, as a working agreement. Okay, so try to minimize that. For Agile ceremonies, okay, for how many of you are in Agile teams? Let's see, how many of you are in Agile teams? We've got Phyllis says yes, Brian. All right, so we've got our daily stand-ups. We've got our sprint planning meetings. We got our sprint reviews. It doesn't matter if we're remote, we should continue to be business as usual, right? Here's the thing, we still have to time box. You still have to ask the relevant questions. The inputs and the outputs of those Agile ceremonies should not be changing. One of the things that we are recommending for Agile teams is to add what we call collaboration time. How many of you have collaboration time? I see a yes, I see a no. So what is collaboration time? Even for teams that are in the office, Agile teams that are in the office, collaboration time could be your after the daily stand-up session. Why? Because again, Agile ceremonies, Scrum Masters, our master facilitators should be time boxed. If there's any conversation that needs to be tagged outside of your 15-minute daily stand-up, have a collaboration time right after. Specific for parking lot items and tag conversations or impediments and issues that need to be resolved. We recommend for Scrum Masters, no matter what, to always have that collaboration time on the schedule. If you don't need to use it, you're good to go on that day, then you skip it. If it's only 2 people that have to discuss an issue, then those 2 people stay in collaboration time. Everybody else can go back to work on their items. Okay, that's a great recommendation. What we have been seeing now with everybody being 100% remote is that they schedule a collaboration time right after the daily stand-up, but they also schedule 1 more or 2 other collaboration times throughout midday or the end of the day. But Scrum Masters, most importantly, please remember to time box them. 15 minutes max. where your guys who usually were in the office face to face, sitting right next to each other. Hey, how's your code going? Hey, do we need to pair? Hey, I'm having an issue. Can you help me? They can come together during that time and talk about their issues. That's a great recommendation. For brainstorming sessions, the tools, the Jamboard. There's other tools that we're going to show also in a slide that are very exciting and fun to use for brainstorming sessions for your retrospectives. You can still have those productively in a fun way of asking questions and getting people's answers to keep people engaged as well. So those don't go away. Any other questions on best practices to facilitating some of these type of meetings? Or is there another type of meeting that we missed that somebody would like to share? Leon, anything else in this section?
I think when you're thinking about ongoing meetings, try to make sure that everybody gets input. Sometimes people will just go on mute or not put their camera on, and it's really important to get everybody's input and check in with the team, because you might get that around the room if you were physically there, but you may be able to read body language, but you can't really do that when someone's on mute and no camera on.
Okay, I love it. I love it. That's a good one. I've personally been doing some online trainings, right? Zoom, thank goodness, has the capability that you can actually see everybody's box. And so for my online trainings, I've been asking folks to turn their cameras on. So those are some good suggestions. So you guys can do that for your meetings. So a working agreement. When, at least from the Agile perspective, but this is relevant to anybody who has a department and who has a team and who brings people together to get work done, make decisions, or have a conversation. When you're bringing people together, it's very important to have a working agreement. It could be people in your same department or people from other departments that you have to collaborate with on a daily basis. What's a working agreement? Hey, every time we have a meeting, you should review what's the working agreement between the participants. This is actually an exercise that everybody participates in and contributes to and comes up with a checklist. And then this checklist is something that, because you included them and everybody who's a participant gave you feedback on what's important to them as a participant, now this checklist has been blessed by everybody and it helps with accountability. It really, really does. If you give somebody a working agreement and they weren't part of it, they're not really going to own it. Every time we do an exercise, we make sure that everybody provides feedback. That way there's more ownership on it, right? So here are some examples of some of the working agreements that we have in the office, but we've added a flavor of the virtual type of meetings working agreements. So join in a few minutes prior. That's very important. Mute your lines when not talking. And encourage everyone, video, very important, guys. You gotta be able to see each other, you know? When sharing a screen, close what you don't need, right? We don't want any embarrassing situations. If anybody's out on the internet looking at other stuff, right? If you're recording. So as coaches, a lot of the time we support multiple teams and we can't be in 3 meetings at once. Guess what? Our Agile teams are now recording their sessions. So now it's easier for us to go back and look at a previously recorded session. We were not able to do that in the office. Have an agenda with meeting objectives. Again, if there's no agenda, if there's no objectives and no action items coming out of a meeting, then maybe you shouldn't be having that meeting. You should be questioning that, okay? Agree on a time box. And one of the main working agreements is, guys, when the time box is over, that's it. The meeting is over. You'll have to wait for the next one. Or if you have collaboration time, then you tag the conversations and you take them into collaboration time. Have a co-facilitator. That's very important. So we recommend that facilitators, team facilitators, always have somebody else to volunteer to take notes, right? To monitor the chat line, to monitor questions, or to do the technical support. That's very important. You guys don't have to be the Lone Rangers facilitating all by yourself. It's another way, like Leon was saying, to get people engaged. It's their meeting. Rotate who's going to be facilitating these meetings as well. That's another great tip. Add meeting notes for parking lot risk and impediments. Documenting things now and having a repository is very important. And then the whiteboard exercises, which are a lot of fun, and agree on documenting next steps. Any other, I got some notes here. Let's see. Share meeting goals prior to the meeting, love it. What when company removed recording function due to security concerns? Okay, we've got some folks, I guess, that got rid of recording. Let's see, what other working agreement tips and tricks have you guys used? Who wants to share? And I'm looking at the chat line. Let's see.
So what when company remove recording functions due to security concerns? Daniel Roth here.
Yeah, no, we understand that. We understand that. So I guess that's not an option. Some tools allow screen capture for future reference. Okay, that's very good. Share meeting goals prior to the meeting. That's a good one. Make 30 minutes for 25 minutes and 60 minutes meetings for 50 minutes. This allows time between meetings. I love that. And I actually had a remote lunch and learn yesterday, and we talked about that. So that's a great advice. Turn your 1 hour meetings into 50 minutes and turn your 30 minutes into 25 minutes. That's a great, it alleviates having to go from one meeting to the next, because guess what? Some of us don't even have time to go to the bathroom at this point if you have meetings back to back. So that's a real good one. Allow a few minutes for chit chat at the end of the meeting if there's time. Very good. We were talking about this morning too. Good idea. Facilitators, these are all great facilitator skills. Respect the hard stop time. Very important. Very, very important. One of the great things that we've been doing is we've been scheduling remote happy hours, after 5 o'clock. Teams have been doing remote lunches where they actually sit there, they chat, they have music in the background, non-work related topics. People can actually relax, just like if you were at the cafeteria. We've had people scheduling coffee time, cafecito time. I miss my cafecito time in the office. That's been one of the biggest hard points that I've been going through. But we had somebody actually do like a fun game session where they had just virtual games, and that's all they were doing for that 1 hour. And that was so much fun, and it got people engaged. So take those tips with you as well. We love it. Look, I find it helpful to mention the person's name at the beginning of the statement or question rather than at the end. It helps them refocus on me and not on whatever else they're multitasking on. That way I don't have to repeat myself too often. I like that. Participants will lose motivation in minutes, usually seconds. We're doing optional cafecito time twice a week for 15 to 30 minutes to talk about things that we learned. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, very, very good. So the video always, it's hard. Not everybody likes to get on video, but that's one of the things that we recommend. Okay, so we're gonna ask the coaches. Let's see, Leon, what other tips do we have for facilitators, for co-facilitators, or for team members? What other tips do we have?
I think it's really important to have a good agenda going in, and to be able to say, okay, are we just sharing information? Are we trying to make a decision? Are we trying to gain consensus? So that everybody's clear about what's the purpose, what are we trying to do? So that's very clear, and set that at the start of the meeting, and then toward the end of the meeting, say, have we achieved those things?
Awesome. And then document any action items that you guys might have and have a place where that's shared with everybody. Love it. How about the co-facilitators? How many of you have co-facilitators? How many of you are asking for volunteers? Again, this motivates your team, it keeps people engaged, and it also keeps people awake. If I know I have to co-facilitate or I have to volunteer for something, I'm definitely gonna be a lot more focused. Who's double facilitating with somebody else or engaging their team to do that?
was going to say your admin is doing that now.
Ah, hey, Mark. I didn't know you were on the line. Mark, any other tips and tricks for facilitators, co-facilitators, or team members?
Oh, I don't know if we have that much time, but uh, so I'll totally agree with you. It helps to get the rest of the group engaged, and I'll say part of that in my talk as well. But it's really getting all the voices in the room. So even when you don't have everyone on camera, doing something very simple like a one-word check-in from everyone, just so they speak. Because once everyone kind of gets that first word in, then they feel a little more comfortable breaking in on the audio and through the rest of the meeting.
Awesome. I'm going to do a quick time check here. How much time do we have, guys?
We have a couple more minutes. Couple more minutes. Literally.
So what's the end time?
10:40.
Okay, so we got 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Okay, recommended tools. Those of you that are attending the tool session, there's going to be a lot more to come on this. Video and audio, Zoom, WebEx, Cisco, MS Teams, Skype, chat lines, Slack, Telegram, WhatsApp, text messages, whiteboards, Jamboard, Miro, concept board, Mural. There's a lot more in the tool sessions that they'll be sharing. Document repositories, Google Drive, OneDrive, SharePoint, Amazon Cloud. Those are you that are using Jira. Confluence is also very, very good. We've got, okay, so current challenges. This is my challenge to all of you that are participating in this session. Find a way to communicate your current state. So how are you going to let others know if you're available or not? That's very important. That's one of everybody's biggest fear. I got to get a hold of something. How do we get a hold of them? If you have your tools open, if you have your tools on your phone, I'm getting Microsoft Teams calls on my phone, even if I'm in the kitchen grabbing a glass of water, right? That's very important. Allow for social time. You can still have happy hours. You can still have coffee time. That's very important. Guys, schedule your breaks. Put your breaks on your calendar. If not, you will be bombarded back to back with meetings. Block time for your breaks with your kids. Block time for your breaks to go for a walk, to exercise. Block time after 5 or 5:30 or 6 o'clock, whatever your end time is. Remember, you used to drive home from the office. That was a break time. So imagine you're driving home and block that time. This is so that we can continue to have that, you know, that whole mental time and that mental break that we all need.
Yeah, Regina, I want a plus 1,000 on that one.
Yeah. Hey, does that include when your team members schedule a meeting immediately after 5 to plan and prepare for a conference?
Oh my goodness. I don't know about that. You got to go talk to Rick about that one. But that one is on the calendar and that one is scheduled, Professor X. All right. I think we had measure outcomes, not outputs. Build rapport. Leaders, you have to care about your team members. Have one-on-ones with them just to see how people are doing. Somebody had said, start your meetings with a quick chat, okay? Just to see how people are doing and ask that question. It's very important. Tips and tricks, manage expectations, stick to a routine, video calls, plan remote team non-work activities, have fun. I challenge all of you to have a fun exercise and schedule it and put that on the calendar and get rid of one of your other meetings. How about that? Make time for one-on-one feedback, retrospect. These retrospectives should be a lot more personal. How are we doing during this time? What can we do better? Ask your teams, what can you be doing better? Okay, and that's it. That is it. We want to hear from you. That's our challenge. We hope that you enjoyed this session. Thank you again, and we really appreciate your time. Any other last minute questions, please put them on the chat line. I think the coaches just finished their other sessions. How are we doing with time, my admins?
We are doing fine. Shit.
Well, see, we're remote. Everything goes. Is
That
everybody
didn't sound right.
Is everybody
Sorry,
coming
Bradford.
back to the main room?
Yes. All right.
No,
Okay.
no, she said shift. We're shifting rooms.
Yes.
Oh,
that's what
thank you, Leah.
Now we have to shift.
All right.
Yes.
Remember, that is our working agreement.
All right.
Yes.
Regina, go ahead and unshare your screen so I can start getting everybody ready for the next session.
Before you do that, or in concert with that, a lot of people asked how they would switch from the presentation to the person speaking. So there should be a little swap button on the upper part of your screen that allows you to switch, like from Rick to whatever he's presenting, and then go back. So if you keep hitting it, you go back and forth. The other thing was, a lot of people were saying, I want to leave and go to another session. So I think the most effective way to do that is to find the admin in the session you are and tell that person that you want to switch to go to another session.